sports, but now team coverage, the last part of it, and that's about analyzing everything that has been said out of the stories that you have watched tonight. And we are glad to have Apostle Richard Takim, who is from the Cry of Spirit Ministries, to talk to us tonight. Welcome, Apostle, to our newsroom. And let me begin by asking, having watched those stories and seen what's happening in the country, has this to do with lack of morality, lack of religion or religious practices, or it's purely lawlessness in the country?
Well, actually, it's just lawlessness. The issue is this: there are two major institutions that God established on earth to work on the moral fabric of a human being. Because of what happened in the Garden of Eden, Genesis chapter 2, chapter 3, it's impossible for a human being to live right on his own. We are just born natural lawbreakers. Every human being is born
natural lawbreakers.
Yeah, every human being is a natural lawbreaker. That little child that come out of the mother's womb crying in the hospital is a lawbreaker already.
Okay. Okay.
Because of the fall. So God knew that. So God then established two institutions on earth to help us grow up so that we will not be lawbreakers, so that there will be no lawlessness. So the first institution is out of the family. That is why once the family institution is broken down, the child cannot become who he ought to be. So the child will grow up being a wild child. And when you now grow up being a wild child, you now become, let's say, a medical doctor. You become a wild medical doctor. Okay. You become a politician, you become a wild politician. Before you know, you are giving the law enforcement agency a lot of jobs to do. Okay.
Okay, very interesting. And you have watched, and Kenyans are really concerned with what's happening. But this is so entrenched into the common mwananchis, Wanjiku as I may call them, and also the leadership of this country. So the question would be, from where you sit as a member of the clergy's church, how broken is this system?
In fact, the system is so broken. It's not just peculiar to Kenya, it's global. It's so broken, and because it's a spiritual thing. Because we are spirit beings living in bodies. So once the spiritual life is out of order, the natural life cannot be in order. So if you look at it, to me, I would say family has failed, church has failed. Because God placed the family and the church to work on the human race. Okay. To work on the human being. So that as you are born, let's say you are born in a broken system, a broken family, because most people are not born in established families. We have fathers that have no values. So you are born in a family that have no values. The church is there as the ground where God now factored in the values that are missing. You get my point? But if the church is now a shame on the face of the earth, the church is now a means for money making, a scam. We have a lot of scandalous pastors that are just con men on the pulpit. So how can you produce righteous breed? For instance, every politician goes to mosque, go to church. So me, I'm talking about church because that's where I came from. Now, as a man of God, your first priority ought to be to work on the human soul, not the pocket. So people come to church, we focus on their pockets instead of their hearts. So you are now focusing on his pocket. All your teachings will be how to bring the money out of the pocket. All the visions will be how to bring the money out of the pocket. So you are not neglecting the real aspect of a human being that made God to bring the person to your church, which is bringing out the soul, the spirit, refurbishing it, putting the life of God in the spirit. Okay. You get my point? So to me, the broken system family, broken system church, and that's why you see the decay is out there. You see, it would be funny for people to know that God did not put the responsibility of dealing with corruption in the hand of government. No. God put it in the hand of the church. Because in the book of Jeremiah chapter 23, the Bible says corruption has proceeded from the prophets to the nation. Okay.
So we have virtually most systems broken down. The judiciary, the business sector, transport, education, health, and to crown it all, Kenya is a very ethnicized or an ethnic society. How do we bridge this deficit? Because we have determined that it's broken, and from you it's broken from birth. So how do we fix this?
You see, I think fixing this system begins from the clergymen.
Okay, from the church?
The church, not even the politicians, the church. If we get it right, it will be right. Look at Kenya. I'm told that Kenya has about 85% Christians, which means 85% Kenyans goes to church. You get my point? What are the pastors doing with them?
Okay.
That is the issue. So if the church come back to its feet, currently the church is sick. If the church becomes healthy, we can fix the system. Most politicians go to church. They listen to their reverend fathers, their pastors, their bishops every Sunday. So to me, the recovery must begin from the church. You get my point? God, it is preachers that God will have to use to get this thing back. If you put in the hand of government, the government cannot handle it. Like I said, God did not put the responsibility of working on the human soul on the government.
In the government, okay.
It's in the church.
Okay. So to individuals,
yes,
you and I,
yes,
the Wanjikus and Otienus,
yes,
what is our role in fixing this?
Our role is for us to go back to the moral values of the Bible. To me, the Bible is not a book for Christians. To me, it's a book for the human race. Because there are a lot of values in it that we can read and cultivate. You get my point? As individuals, we should be guided by the fear of God. As an individual, if all of us fear God, that alone will restrain our decisions. It will govern the way we do things. You get my point? You will know that God is watching you. You get my point? Once you fear God, it controls your character.
Okay.
Yes.
So you're taking us back to the church.
Yes.
So where is the place of civil activism? Where is the place of complaining? Where is the place of writing letters and petitions in what you're saying? Where is that place?
You see, can I tell you, that has never helped any society. Activism, writing letters, all of that stuff, it has never helped. Me, I'm preferring permanent solution. Okay. That is just a relief. At most, the government could pay attention for a season, and this government come and go, another one comes. But we are dealing with human beings. All right. Yes. Even these activists themselves, most of them are corrupt. They just scream for money. Once you put it in their mouth, they keep quiet. Great. All right. So the fabric is so broken. Thank you very much, Apostle Hakim. We had little time, but at least you shed light. Unless you have something in 30 seconds you want to say about it. Well, I think, like I've said, we should just go back to the values that the human race was established to be born in. Okay. Once we go back there, it's okay. The fear of God should guide us. That will sort out all our problems. Sort out all, yeah. All right. A good point to end our team coverage for tonight. Thanks, Apostle, for coming and